One Piece chapter 1116 here, the God Valley incident, and I gotta say, Oda's setting it up. It feels like a slow burn. I thought we were gonna get everything here in this chapter, and Oda was gonna wrap up the flashback in like 2 or 3 chapters. It seems like we're getting the full thing, guys. It seems like we're getting the full thing, and it's happening. It's really happening. The God Valley incident, it seems... I already said it. Now, we're not going to waste any time. Let's break down this chapter. Let's go through it and talk about the most important things, which is everything. The entire chapter. But cover story first. So the cover story is really interesting this week. Nothing happens. Yamato just stares at the capital in the distance, and that's it. Super interesting. That's it. Let's move on. All right. Seriously, that's it, though. You know, we expect the cover story to get better over time, and Oda, I think, is trying to line it up with chapter stuff, like real chapter stuff. So this is what it is. Whatever. Chapter now. We can talk about the Celestial Dragons and how terrible they are, but I feel like things don't really hit home until you see it. Until you see just how despicable people are or things are, it doesn't really hit home. So, I mean, that goes for real life as well, right? Where you hear about deeds that people commit and you're like, all right, that sounds horrendous, but when you see it, it's even more worse. The Celestial Dragons here, it's time for this incident to happen, and man, they're collecting people and they're hemming them up like rabbit. Now they're talking about the Davy Clan. Something I wanted to mention, I forgot to mention last time, was do the Celestial Dragons hate the Davy Clan because of just the people right now are hyping up the hate, saying, yo, these people are loathsome, these people are terrible, and everybody's like, yeah, we hate them? Or did they teach hate in the Celestial Dragon School? Did they tell them, yo, the Davy Clan members, we should hate them in CD school, in CD University? I'm not sure. Either way, they really hate them. Like, they hate these people. I like how some of the Celestial Dragons' reasoning for hating the Davy Clan is like, they've been hated since their ancestors. Like, yo, they've been hated their entire life. We should hate them more. Like, that's the justification for the hate. Is like, yo, they've always been hated on. Like, it's a reason for that, right? Right? I like that they're talking about how much they should be hated, but there's no actual reason why. They're hated and they should be exterminated. Why? We should sever their bloodline. Why? Are they Buccaneers too? Why the hell does that even matter? It's too dangerous to allow them to live. Okay, bro, I get it, but why? They're not delving any deeper. They hate for sport, and they enjoy it, and that's essentially what it is. So then we see Saturn and Garling. I think it's funny that Garling is the one who places Saturn as a member of the Gorosei, because, I mean, this is an amazing find. 800 years you can find something, and Garling stumbles upon the Davy Clan. I mean, if anything is going to put Garling in Imu's good graces, it's going to be this, right? It's going to be this. Now, we also see a young Blackbeard. Of course, his mom, kind of hot. I can understand Rocks and doing what he did, sacrificing essentially his dream to come and save Blackbeard and his mom. I mean, I get it, kind of hot. But we see the Davy Clan and how they're being treated. Super rare rabbits. And we see a young Blackbeard, and he is terrified because it reminds us of a young Doflamingo when he's about to be stoned by the people. And Blackbeard is just like, as a kid, you can't really understand this type of hate. Just how much did my mom up for y'all to hate me like this? Either my mom or my dad did something really wrong for you guys to hate me like this, but honestly, I do not understand it. That's how Blackbeard looks right now. Also, there are people talking about Blackbeard as an ugly baby. Listen, we don't talk about babies, especially ugly babies. Wait. What I mean is, don't talk about babies. Now, the Celestial Dragons, I guess it's confirmed the last part of the chapter, well, last week in 1159, it was at the top, Dragon and Shanks and Shamrock's mom, and at the bottom was Blackbeard and his mom, right? It's 2 separate scenes going on. I know some people had tried to say, yo, that's not what's happening. You're wrong. But hey, I thought it was pretty clear, guys. And this chapter pretty much confirmed that. But Dragon, I can't say enough about Dragon as a character, and a lot of the slander that he's taken over the years has been stupid. I mean, just quite frankly, stupid, because a lot of people are saying, well, we haven't seen him do anything. Okay, for Dragon, don't necessarily have to see him anything. The fact that he is alive and the organization of the revolutionaries exists, that's enough. The proof is in the pudding. Dragon doesn't have to do anything else. Well, we have to see it. We have to see something. But I think so far, the Revolutionary Army being as powerful as it is, influential as it is, fairly successful as it is, that's all attributed to Dragon and his plan and his vision, right? I know a lot of people, they talked about Dragon because he didn't climb the red line like Fisher Tiger to go save Ginny. What does that accomplish? It doesn't accomplish anything. So for Dragon, seeing him in this light and seeing people somewhat turn tail, some of their takes about him, I'm like, yeah, shut the hell up, man. Because, bro, he's genuinely a good guy. A stranger just asked him to save her children. Never met her before, never met the kids before. And he's saying, you and your children are strangers to me. I have no idea who you are. But if I can't help you, I have no business being here. Which justice to Dragon looks a lot different than it does for a lot of the Marines that are currently with the world government, right? He views things differently, and he acted immediately, which kind of tells you the type of person Dragon is, where he would be an amazing leader for the Marines, but to get there, it's a lot you got to go through. Dragon didn't have the time. He wasn't going to go through that. So shout out to Dragon. Big shout out to Dragon. I hope we can stop the Dragon slander at this point, because you can see how silly it is. Now we jump to the Celestial Dragons again, and they're hunting the rabbits, the super rare rabbits, all of them, and they're giving them an hour to get away. I'm like, okay, an hour. Well, they're trying to make this difficult on themselves. But then they have 3 weeks to kill them. I'm like, what the heck? 3 weeks? They got to eat. They got to sleep. I mean, for them, this is game over. They have no chance of escape. They give you an hour head start, and then they have 3 weeks to hunt them. That is impossible and quite frankly despicable. I think what's sad is for a lot of the citizens, they're still in shock and they're trying to understand, wait, is this really happening? Are they really going to kill us? And I thought I had as well was like, for some of the Davy clan, do they have any top fighters? Is anybody going to fight back, or did the world government already get rid of those guys? Are they just like a real pacifist nation that they don't have that level of strength where they can't even try to fight back? But they're in shock. Even with their kids, they're running away like, wait, are they really going to kill us, man? I do like that some of them are holding out hope, saying, yo, we just got to hold out for 3 weeks. Can you imagine given an hour and then you have to run away on an island for 3 weeks from people that are trying to kill you and they're turning you and your life into a game. That's essentially what's happening. And you have 3 weeks. Them having hope speaks a lot to them as people and their character, that they're not just giving up, right? They're still running away. And I think the thing that's kind of heartbreaking is the fact that they have their kids with them and they're running with their kids and they're just like, let's try to find a good spot. And the kids just confused, like, I have no idea what's going on, but we're running and okay. And they're being hunted by these. It's crazy to see it in real time. A very sad moment is a family hiding behind a rock. The Celestial Dragon, they're running. And of course, the kid makes a bit of noise and they find them. And then they shoot all three, supposedly, because we hear bang, bang, bang. It was 3 people there. And the thought was like, okay, what do you do here? You have a kid. The kid's going to make noise. People were talking about it like, do you abandon your child so that you and your wife can live? I mean, at that point, you just have to die together. You're not leaving your family, right? You can't leave your kid and run away. You will never forget that. You will regret that for the rest of your life. And you just kind of have to die with your child if you're not going to fight back. And at this point, they have nothing to fight back. And they just die, right? In each other's arms, seemingly, because we don't see it, but we just hear bang, bang, bang. And it's dark. It's getting dark. Oda's showing us, yo, these people are despicable. God Valley was a very, very brutal incident. The world government, when they take over these countries, they're not playing around. Like the sport, they're serious about it. Like this is like golf to them, or really, really just a hyper form of tennis. Like it's really, really important. Like it seems like this is the highlight of the year. Like they're having a blast, and it is people's lives that they're playing with and touring with. And this is not the first time we've seen that. And to see it just play out this way, yeah, it's one of those. The contrast is kind of sick. We have people screaming and you have wives protecting their husbands, saying not to kill them. And on the other side, you have celestial dragons or celestial dragon women that really look like men. They're saying they're getting like excited off of Garland killing people. So you're just seeing both sides of the coin where like, yo, they get off on this. Like this is genuinely what they enjoy. And you start to think about it. Is this nature or nurturing? Because they're human, but they're monsters, right? And of course, pirates do bad things as well. But all the celestial dragons, they are in, bro. They have obviously it's no hesitation, and they are going for it. And it's really a sport for them, like legitimately. We also see Gunkko here. I think Gunko's timeline is very interesting because, of course, when we think of Gunkko, we think of the Brook flashback where at some point she was with Brook, seemingly with the same hairstyle. I wonder if Oda changed his mind with Gunkko, because remember when she's introduced, she was introduced as a saint. She wasn't introduced as a member of the Mindmire family. Like all this, she was just Gunkko, right? So now she's Saint Gunkko, and they're even seemingly giving her an epithet, God of Steel. I'm not sure if it's her, but Gunkko, I'm not gonna lie, if I had to place bets based on her power and how seemingly very skilled she is with it, I'd probably place my bets on Gunkko. This is a sport, and I don't want to make light of the lives that are being lost here. This is a sport she would excel at. She's Steph Curry putting up threes with this sport because she has the arrow, and she can just like hella combos. It is crazy, endless combos she can do with these people, with these rabbits. These people. So I think at the end of the day, I would like to get some more on Gunkko. as far as the timeline, does she enjoy doing this? Like, what was her relationship with Brooke? Brooke, are you a traitor? Do you know something, right? Did Brooke forget about what was going on? Was he an escort to the world nobles? Was Brooke at God Valley? Of course, that's impossible because he's already dead, sailing, whatever. He was already sailed. So for me, I think Gunkko still remains one of the more interesting characters that I want to find out more about. But to know she's putting up numbers in God Valley, like, I was super sympathetic towards Gunkko because I'm like, man, you're just here, you're placed in this position and you have to do these things. I don't know. Another thing is, let's just have a thought experiment real quick. Gunkko at this point, she still has the long hair and she seems to be into it. She now has a short hair and we see Emu take over her body. The long hair comes back. I'm like, can Emu tap into a moment in time and restore things? Is that what Emu's power is? Because to tap in or to take over Gunkko's body and for her to be restored to a certain time or form, that's a bit insane, is it not? Bro, Emu, what's your power? What you got going on? Is it multiple powers at once? But Gunkko, I need to know more. This chapter should be called Why We Hate the CDs, or This is Why the God Valley incident was super trash and that the Celestial Dragon should be, I was going to say something else, but let's say should be cured, right? They should be quelled. Because Summers, there's a child up in the tree and Summers like, yo, I got a cushion for you, and it's like a bed of thorns. And his dad is like, yo, I'll catch you. We don't see what happens, but I'm going to bet good money that they're dead. And it's nothing. No skin off his back. Doesn't matter to him because these people are not people to them. They are just members, are parts of the game. They're like a chess piece. They're like a rook or a knight. Like, it does not matter to them. They're killing with no hesitation. And seeing the faces of these people and how terrified they are. I mean, the kid was in the tree just trying to get away. He's like, you climbed up pretty high. Like, he was impressed. But he's like, you still gotta die. I don't know, man. I can understand why after this chapter you're looking at every single Marine. Like, no, I don't care how good you know. No! However, a lot of Marines don't know about any of this stuff. However, this does go on. And technically, if you do remain a member of the Marines, you are in support of this. And it's just, it is hard to parse through and for people to understand or try to understand like how decent people, how decent Marines can be okay with this. Now, they might not be literally okay, like they might be super against what's going on, but actions speak louder than words, right? And you're still a member of the world government, still a member of the Marines, which is a member of the world government, so you are complicit by association. And it's unfortunate, but it's true. Even people that we love like Garp, right? And you were here. Now we got to see how Garp handles things when he, after he shows up. And because it was rumored that Garp was saving celestial dragons with Roger. And so it's just like, yo, what, guys, show me. Why were you guys doing these things? We need some explanation. We also can't forget them having Shocky like a display item. Like, yo, this is the prize. And like, oh man, I know it's awesome knowing that that's going to be your wife. Just super objectification. But it's Shocky, you know what I'm saying? Like, she looks good. I get it. She looks good. But something I wanted to point out was that I enjoy different POVs for the same incident. Movies do it. Of course, anime does it. Like, it's so many different mediums that do it, but they give you a perspective and then they give you another perspective, which opens up your scope. It widens your scope because it's giving more information. And I think that's something to always keep in mind, that like you have one perspective of things. Of course, sometimes it doesn't matter the perspective. Wrong is wrong, but more times than not, seeing another perspective helps. And Oda's giving us Dragon's perspective from when Kuma and Ivankov and Ginny, when they were about to be killed. And seeing this perspective, of course, is unlocking more, I think, for most people about Dragon and who Dragon is as a person, as a character, where he is throwing up at the sight of people being killed. And he's saying, yo, I wanted to help this woman, but if I do, they might kill my entire platoon for going against them. And so Dragon has this conflict as a Marine where he's acting on his impulses, where Celestial Dragon was apparently about to kill Kuma. He acted on his impulse and seemingly killed the Celestial Dragon. Now, I know Dragon was using tranquilizers, so more than likely it's a tranquilizer and not a bullet. He's kind of on his Sakamoto where we don't kill anymore. I don't know, because I don't know if Dragon ever killed. But you know what I'm saying? Like, so it was just a tranq shot. However, he's acting on his impulses and he's shooting a Celestial Dragon. I don't care if it was a slingshot. If they find out you did it, you're dead. That's your head. It don't matter, bro. If you spit on a Celestial Dragon, it's over. So shooting and tranquilizing them, he is a character, or he is who I thought he would be. Like, I'm not surprised at Dragon doing these things. I'm actually really happy that we're seeing it and people are coming around, because he's exactly who we thought he was. Did I say was a word? He's exactly who we thought he was. He didn't let him off the hook. Some may Get that. But shout out to Dragon. Now, in the midst of this, of all the chaos, the Rocks pirate shows up. That's why I said this chapter, I don't want to say it's necessarily recap, it's recontextualization. We have all the info what happens in God Valley. We somewhat have the bones of God Valley. We need intricate details. So what Oda's doing, he's giving us the bones and some more meat, right? He's giving us the meat as far as what's going on, because he's telling us, okay, this is here, this is here, this is here, and he's filling in the gaps. So he's really taking his time with this incident, where I didn't think he would do so. So the Rocks pirates show up, and, you know, they're talking about like, yo, the goal. Rocks is saying the goal is Shaki and Devil Fruits. Let's work together. Once it's over, we can split the bounty, split the booty. That's what he said. We can divvy up the booty. And he's not talking about Shaki. Like, booty is another, you understand. And Rocks is trying to lead. Now, I'm not going to say Rocks is a bad leader, but I'm not going to say he's a great one. From the onset, I think the way and the process in which you gathered this crew, just it's not going to work based on the process, because now I'm obligated to be here. Of course, he told people, you can leave if you don't. Bro, like, you're doing too much. I'm trying to get to the money. So Rocks at this point, he's trying to rally everyone, right? Trying to tell them, try to get everybody on the same page so we're not fighting amongst each other like we normally do. Like, guys, this is one mission where I think we should be on the same accord, because it's pretty important, right? We got Shaki out here. We got really important Devil Fruits. I need two of them that I really need for my goal. Like, let's lock in. And, you know, for the most part, it is adhered to, for the most part. But of course, everyone still has their ulterior motives. Shaki is a driving force here. A lot of people are talking about Shaki, even Blackbeard, where, quite frankly, I think it was low-key trying to antagonize Bakken by saying, yo, I'm here to save a friend. But if she does fall for me, I wouldn't mind. And while he's looking at Bakken, right, just looking at her like, yeah, you heard that? I don't want you. I wouldn't mind if Shaki fell for me, Bakken. You heard that? And Bakken's like, yo, how could you say that, Newgate? After what we shared last night, this is how you talk to me? I like how everybody's rationalizing things for the most part as far as how it would benefit them. Even Struston brings up Ochoku. And in my opinion, Ochoku is probably the MVP out of all this, because Ochoku is saying, I'm not going anywhere to save any woman just because she's my friend, especially to God Valley. And friend, let's be honest here, guys. We're here for the money. And honestly, 40 chests by Ochoku, because everybody leaves. If Rocks gets captured or kidnapped or killed, who do you think assumes the island? Yes, you guessed it right, Ochoku, who actually had control of the island until recently. So big W chess move by Ochoku. I would not be surprised if he told everybody or gave a heads up. I was like, yo, they're coming in here. So just be prepared for the Rocks pirates, because, hey, why not? We're here for the money. We're here for the spoils, baby. You can divvy it up after. I'll divvy it up before. That's me, Ochoku, the fifth Yonko, or the hidden Yonko, or the silent Yonko, or, I don't know, the pirates Yonko, whatever the hell that means. Again, I like Big Mom and Kaido's dynamic, where Big Mom is saying, yo, you guys are delusional. Like, every single one of you. She doesn't want you. And it's one of those where Big Mom can see it clearly, because Big Mom, I don't think she swings that way. I don't think she say no, but she don't care. Big Mom is here for the Devil Fruits, right? Devil Fruits and the fun and the money. Kaido is still like, of course, he's a teenager for the most part. He's like, yo, Big Mom, you gonna let me get one of those fruits, right? And I can't wait to get to the point where we saw Kaido is about to die and Big Mom happens to save his life. Like, what? First of all, what or who put Kaido's life in danger? Because he's been trying to die for years and couldn't do it. And Big Mom, what happened, man? How did it happen? How did it go down? I'm really interested in that. So now it's starting, right? Rocks is saying, crew, follow me. Let's go. Let's go. Crew, I think the Rocks pirates, they respect Rocks for the most part. They understand his strength and his ambition. But the analogy or the comparison I gave was like, he's like Star-Lord in Guardians of the Galaxy, where he is the leader, but for the most part, they don't listen to him. They don't follow him. They follow him, but it's like, we're not listening to you. But when it's time to lock in, they do. Like, that's the energy I get from Rocks. Either way, it's starting. The Celestial Dragons are threatening the Marines, saying, we're going to kill you if you don't save us. But we see Dragon, and something that, you know, bothered me a little bit. It's not a big deal, but it bothered me a little bit. I gotta be honest with y'all. We don't see how Dragon saves Shanks and Shamrock. We see him running away with Shanks and Shamrock. But one of the major things I wanted to see is how he did it. Who did you have to go through? Where were they? What did you say? What did you do? I mean, of course, he just picked him up and ran away. But I would like to see how we got here. We're getting intricate details about God Valley. Give me the details about God Valley. Don't give me details and don't give me the... Okay, that was about to sound crazy. I'm like, don't give me the details. Anyway, let's move on from that. I would just have liked to see, okay, what happened? But Dragon's a man of his word. Even though he was reluctant and he was having second thoughts about doing it, he still did it, right? And bro, the penalty is more than death. It's the death of your platoon, probably your platoon's family, probably your family's family. And so, you know, Dragon, I can't say it enough. He is a real one. Look at all the devastation that's going on around him right now, and he's choosing to save other people. That's not normal. Now, of course, in the midst of this, the Roger pirates show up as well, and they were like on one accord. They're here to save Shaki, and then Roger gets trampled. I'm seeing people saying Roger's getting Sanjified, and Roger's getting downplayed, and El Roger, no aura, El Pirate King. And I'm just like, guys, this is a focus on Rocks. This isn't Roger's flashback. Yes, this is technically Rocks' era, but Roger is him. I shouldn't have to defend the Pirate King. Roger is him. At the end of the day, this is a gag. His moments is going to happen, but Roger, just Cody, stop it. Okay, stop it. Garling is somewhat annoyed or just disappointed. He's like, well, I guess the game's over. Like, all these pirates are invading. He's like, all right, I guess I'll stop killing the rabbits now. Jeez, man, let's focus on these pirates. One of my favorite spreads that happened was the double spread with members of the God Knights. Now, of course, Gunkko is there. We have somebody that looks like Sudu and Dahl a little bit. Summers, Garling. We have somebody that looks like Vito from Capone's crew. Yeah, somebody looks like Vito. We have somebody that seemingly is in hybrid form, currently like a giant thing. And of course, we had the masked person as well. Bro, it's a beautiful spread. Beautiful spread. I wonder who we're going to see next in action. I want to see that doll-looking lady. I know people are starting to dub her Mihawk's mother for whatever reason. Well, she has black hair and like dark hair at least. And they're saying that's Mihawk's mother. That's what they're saying already. I'm just like, how about we slow down a little bit? Right? How about we figure out exactly what's going on here before we dubbing random characters of Mihawk's mom? How about we slow down a little bit? Either way, pirates are pouring in from all over, like we knew before with Genie in the transmission, and more details is like big news in the transmission. And so now pirates are pulling in. It's a lot of fights happening. And of course, here comes the ultimate bootlicker. Relax. In Monkey D. Garp, where he's here. He's here to save the day. And I think because of what you just read, you can't help but feel some disdain for Garp. Like, you came not because of the people. You came because Roger came. That is it. Do you think Roger's had a more negative impact on the world than the Celestial Dragons and the things they've done? No, there's no way you think that. However, for Garp, he feels like he can do an amazing deed, and by bringing in Roger, all will be well. Everything will be okay. And it's funny that years later, you get your wish, you bring in Roger, and then everything goes awry. Right? It's just almost like the right answer was always never to catch him. That was always the correct answer. So I like how when he finally catches Roger, it just flips everything on his head and you end up regretting it because you weren't meant to catch him. Like, genuinely, you were not. This is not a dense chapter where we have to really deep dive with much because it's very straightforward. It's information that we've gotten already. For the most part, it's things that's being recontextualized for us to understand it better and for us to, I think, empathize with the people of God Valley and the Davy clan. I wonder if any of them got away. I wonder who was the heroes here to enjoy it, to have Blackbeard get away, right? So I'm super interested in the next chapter. You know that's coming next. No, it's coming in 2 weeks, right? Because next week is a break week. Amazing chapter, though. Amazing chapter. I want to say my favorite moments revolve around Dragon and his actions, where character is speaking volumes that this is the type of man he is. And man, I want to hear a conversation between him and Garp. I wonder if Garp sees him here and he just sees him with Shanks or Shanks and Shamrock. He just lets him go. Is that what Garp does? Because, I mean, seemingly at this point, not many people is messing with Garp, especially not Dragon. But he lost one. At some point, he lost Shamrock. Shanks got sent to the upper room, not the upper room. Shanks got sent to Roger's ship and was on Roger's ship. What happened to Shamrock? And we know Shanks was in a chest as well. Did Dragon put Shamrock in one chest and Shanks in another to increase their chances of survival? Why would you not just drop both in Roger's ship? But, you know, we got to see the intricate details behind that. Either way, big W's for Dragon. Stocks up. Stocks also up for Choku. Like, W4D chess. I mean, big brain. Just, y'all go. I'll just wait for the dust to settle and take over here, right? So far, for most people, Rox doesn't seem like a bad guy. Like, he's just somebody that was chasing after things, and he kept just running into random obstacles. But for the most part, he was not a bad guy. I wonder at what point do we see this dastardly deed, these dastardly deeds, which you never really believe because he's just going after taboo topics. But I don't think we get it. Unless he gets Domi reversed and then he's killing random civilians and slaves. I just don't see it. So for Rox, I got to give him all the credit, all the props, because he's seeing things through and he's doing it with a smile on his face, which is no surprise because he's a D. But I think he knows he's going to die today. But he's just doing everything he wants to do at this point. And you got to love it, guys. You got to love it. But give me your thoughts thoughts. How did you feel about the chapter? Also, one thing, did you guys see Douglas Bullet behind Roger in that spread? Oda, stop playing with me. Douglas Bullet doesn't make sense because Douglas Bullet isn't canon, but Oda is 1000%. That design is 1000% Douglas Bullet. I'm not sure if they try to reincorporate him. I'm not sure if they say he's a different character, like, oh, that's Marx. You know, just say something else just to like, no, that's actually not Douglas Bullet, because if you make Douglas Bullet canon, then I wonder how you feel about Stampede. Guys, give me thoughts. How you feel about the chapter? I think this was tier 1 setup because it is giving you information you already know about God Valley, just a different lens. It's like God Valley's here and Oda just spun us around a little bit for us to get more perspective. And I feel like we're going to get spun again for Oda to just like culminate it, right? And just tell us what happened for real. Like where disagreements happened, who won, right? Who led with spoils. I cannot wait. But guys, give me your thoughts. How do you feel about the chapter? Make sure to let me know. Like the video if you did. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Follow me on Twitter at BrogDAce. Follow me on Instagram, brogdy.ace. Thank you to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. But guys, we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.